Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into something that literally every business owner, property manager, and designer in New York City needs to have on their radar. We're talking about unlocking the true, completely untapped potential of your commercial interiors. In a city where every single square foot is premium real estate, having blank walls just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, it's like leaving money on the table. So today, we're bringing you an executive level look at how East Coast Mural Pros is completely revolutionizing the way brands take over these spaces using direct-to-wall printing. As you'll see, they bring some serious, hard-earned expertise to a market where getting the job done right and getting it done fast is pretty much your only option.
Okay, let's dive right into this consultation blueprint. We've got a super focused agenda for you. First, we'll cover the NYC interior advantage. Second, strategic locations. Third, mastering Manhattan logistics. And finally, planning your mural project.
I really want you to think about this quote from our source material. In NYC, execution is everything. And it's so true, right? Interior walls are absolutely prime real estate for your brand's storytelling. I mean, your lobby is a first impression, your office wall is a recruiting tool. But in New York, the actual hurdle isn't just coming up with a cool design. The real hurdle is dealing with incredibly tight schedules, super strict building rules, narrow freight elevator windows, and businesses that literally cannot afford to shut down their operations for days on end. Look, anyone can print a graphic, but installing it in Manhattan without disrupting the flow of business, that requires deep, highly localized expertise. All right, moving into Section 1, the NYC Interior Advantage. So in a hyper-competitive city where brands are fighting tooth and nail for attention on literally every single block, the interior walls you already control are a rare, fully untapped asset. You're already paying for the space. It's time to make it work for you and secure those premium impressions. Let's break down the strategic ROI of these wall murals. First off, they act as massive talent and culture retention tools. I mean, design-forward mission walls actually help companies attract and keep top-tier employees. Second, they are a huge retail draw. They physically stop foot traffic. Third, they instantly increase building value by making amenities feel premium. And finally, my favorite part, the fast refreshes. NYC campaigns change constantly, right? Well, these direct-to-wall murals can simply be painted over and reprinted without generating any waste whatsoever. A real game changer. So the crucial point here is how this compares to what we all used to do. Think about traditional renovations. You're dealing with days of downtime, terrible paint fumes, scraping, peeling, and just serious disruptions to your staff and your clients. Now, contrast that with direct-to-wall printing. It is completely seamless. It produces zero fumes thanks to eco-friendly inks, and it offers instant readiness. You literally skip the renovation headache entirely and jump straight to the high-end result. Which brings us to Section 2, Strategic Locations for Murals. You see, top-tier building management and designers don't just slap these things up anywhere. They use this tech in very specific high-yield zones to absolutely maximize their investment. The most critical of these? The office reception and boardrooms. These spaces act as your crucial first impression. When a major client or a top recruit steps off that elevator, having your exact brand colors and crisp logos right there immediately reflects who you are as a company. It sets the tone for literally every conversation that happens in that room moving forward.
Next up, we have building lobbies and elevator banks. Property developers in NYC are constantly, and I mean constantly, looking for ways to elevate their properties in a deeply competitive market. By transforming high-traffic lobbies, elevator banks, and amenity floors into premium, highly designed experiences, they immediately boost the perceived value of the building for both current and prospective tenants.
And, of course, retail walls and restaurants. Whether you're walking through a trendy retail space in Brooklyn or grabbing a coffee in Manhattan, atmosphere is everything. These statement walls are built specifically to stop foot traffic in its tracks. They create these unique, totally immersive atmospheres that earn organic social shares. Actually, scratch that. They don't just earn shares. They effectively turn your customers into a free marketing engine for your brand. Okay, on to Section 3, Mastering Manhattan Installation Logistics. Now, what's really interesting here is how we bypass all those typical renovation headaches. Let's pivot to the gritty details that NYC pros actually care about. Because, as we established earlier, a great design means absolutely nothing if the installation shuts down your business. I love this number. 5. This represents the under 5 hours it takes to install a typical single-wall mural. Just let that sink in for a second. Less than 5 hours? The specialized direct-to-wall printer is incredibly quiet, completely self-contained, and there is absolutely zero curing time. That means the very minute the printer finishes, your space is usable immediately. No waiting around, no roped-off sections, just done. But here is what I find truly amazing about how East Coast Mural Pros operates: the COI and freight logistics. Anyone who works in NYC commercial real estate knows that the bureaucracy can be an absolute nightmare. Yet these guys seamlessly handle the strict commercial building requirements. They're coordinating the certificates of insurance, they're booking those incredibly narrow freight elevator windows, and they're arranging for after-hours or weekend access. It's incredibly impressive. They schedule the work off-peak so your business experiences exactly zero disruption. Basically, they manage the red tape so property managers don't have to even think about it. And the best part? Logistical speed does not mean you're sacrificing quality. This number right here, 600 plus, stands for the 600 plus DPI resolution achieved by the printer. Using those low-odor, eco-friendly inks we talked about, they deliver a high-end, completely seam-free graphic that meets the exacting, perfectionist standards expected in Manhattan offices and showrooms. It's stunning, photo-quality artwork printed straight to your drywall, your brick, or even your glass. Let's move to Section 4, planning your mural project, and see how this builds into your actual playbook.
So we're shifting from the why and the how to a highly practical, step-by-step methodology for executing a flawless installation. And this applies whether you're across the 5 boroughs, up in Westchester, or out in Connecticut. Here is their highly systematized process for success. Step 1, define your goal. Are we upgrading a lobby, boosting a retail draw, or building office culture? Step 2, confirm building rules early. Get that COI and free access sorted. Step 3, supply exact brand assets, colors, logos, fonts, so your identity reads perfectly. Step 4, approve a true-to-size scaled proof so you know exactly what you're getting before a drop of ink is printed. And Step 5, plan for the future. Remember, these murals are instantly paint-over ready. When your campaign changes or you rebrand down the line, you just prime and paint right over it cleanly with zero wall damage.
So, what does this all mean? Well, we have to ask the ultimate question to close out this explainer. Is your blank wall working hard enough for your brand? I really want to challenge you to look around your space today. Look at those empty walls and realize that they are missed opportunities. It is time to permanently elevate your NYC presence. Reach out to the absolute experts at East Coast Mural Pros and turn that blank space into your brand's biggest advantage. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I honestly can't wait to see what you build.